As a result of conversations between U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Chester Hunt and the mayor of Southampton Rex Stranger, he made an official request to move his headquarters from the Marine Chambers in Canute Road to the Art Gallery wing of the Civic Centre. In a letter dated the 29th of December, 1943 to the Town Clerk, he asked for the use of Galleries 6, 7 and 8, the old woodwork room, a portion of the sculptures shed, the old art room, cycle room, together with the toilet and cloak room on the basement floor. According to Staff Sergeant Erwin Swerdlow writing the article Forgotten Ports in the U.S. Army Transportation Journal in 1945, these rooms were to become the headquarters for the U.S. Army 14th Port at Southampton and its litter of subports during D-Day and Operation Overlord. On New Year's Day, the American officer inquires still further to clarify the conditions for any occupancy. Specifically, he asks about any hiring agreement. In the reply, the Town Clerk makes it clear to the commanding officer that there will be no charge for the occupancy, with a proviso that any alterations made to the building, such as blast walls, will be removed upon final departure. In his letter, the Town Clerk adds that Southampton Corporation is keen to facilitate the move at what he describes as this very important juncture. There is, however, a scribbled note in pencil on the reverse of another letter seeking clarification as to whether the hire of the rooms is to be free, and the mayor signs off on the agreement. In the follow-up letter dated the 4th of January, all the formalities for the occupancy are completed on a gentleman's agreement, and in his reply dated the 5th of January, 1944, the U.S. Army officer expresses his appreciation. But were these rooms ever used by the U.S. Army? Apart from the photograph of a GI standing on guard outside the entrance to the art gallery, there is an account describing the work of BUCO, the build-up and control organization based in the rooms that was vital to the success of D-Day, in the recollections of Lieutenant Colonel George Dyer's book on the U.S. Army 12th Corps. BUCO broke down the modified priority lists for the several embarkation sectors, showing the sequence in which units would embark in each. What this meant in practice is summarized by an artillery officer, Major William B. Shop Shepherd. I was working in G3 troop movements, the hot seat for this operation, if ever there was one. We were responsible for moving all our corps, most of 3rd Army and 20 Corps, across the Channel. I never worked so hard in my life. The system for moving troops to the far shore was based on previously established priority tables, called build-up priority tables. There was BUCO, Build-Up Control Organization at Southampton, and Little BUCO on the continent. Little BUCO informed BUCO what troops to move. BUCO then sent movement orders to the Transportation Corps I Embarco, and to us. Embarco was actually supposed to move the units to the marshalling area. If that system had worked, the job would have been simple, but unfortunately many units were not equipped when they received movement orders. So they would be bypassed. That is where the complication started and did not end until we developed a closely coordinated system using all the special staff sections concerned, plus very close cooperation between G3 and G4. It was necessary to maintain daily lists of units that were ready to ship. These were sent to BUCO and I supposed further sent to Little BUCO, then Little BUCO called only for units that our G4 had certified as being ready for movement. Our job was mostly a bookkeeping one, maintaining daily long status lists of what units were ready, which ones were short critical items of equipment, which were alerted for movement to the marshalling area, and which had actually landed on the far shore. Through strenuous efforts, which left not a few officers and enlisted men on the point of exhaustion, the situation on the near shore was improved, and there is little evidence that either administrative confusion or congestion of the marshalling areas persisted. Today in these art gallery rooms is a plaque which reads, "Presented by the 14th Major Port U.S. Army in acknowledgement of the generosity of the Borough of Southampton, which during the mayoralty of Rex Stranger gratuitously provided the section of the Civic Centre for use as headquarters for the port." It was from here that orders emanated directing the movement of the vast American armies through Southampton and other South Coast ports between June 1944 and the end of hostilities in the Great War for the liberation of Europe. The word gratuitously is added as an joke between allies with reference to the query at the time whether the American army should pay rent for the occupancy of the art gallery rooms.